Welcome back to the Cocked Dice. In tonight's adventure we see Butch, Sullivan and the Ghost continue on their Lost World adventure. After escaping these strange lizard folk, they find themselves deep within a valley, filled with strange plants and an odd chittering sound. As our heroes spread out to take a look around, they hear a scream in the distance and ready themselves for action. And here we are set up for tonight's game. Our heroes are deployed within 2 inches of the back line over there. We've gone for a fairly standard threat marker setup. Our 3 objectives for tonight's game are we're going to continue the theme of escape, so our heroes must make it from one side of the board to the other. We also have rescue the prisoner, and she is down there, the strange scream. We're also going to use forbidden knowledge, in this case reskinned as a kind of investigation to find out what on earth is going on in this very weird valley of strange plants and trees. In addition to our villains for tonight's game, we have the following threats. We're going to have 1,000 cuts, unsteady underfoot and disaster strikes. So let's take a look at our teams for the game. And returning again, we have our heroes for part 2. It's Butch Sullivan at the end there with Tough Guy and Crazed. We have the Ghost here with Sneaky and Crackshot. We have Ginger with her medic skill. And last of all, we have the Panther down here who has Brute and Nippy, but is not going to have a shooting weapon. And facing off against them tonight, there are some rather strange looking plant creatures. These 3 at the back are represented by Triffid's stat line. So Master Lurker, 10 wounds, skill 7. They've got a bit of a ranged attack and have a sting that allows them to knock down. At the front here, these are going to be our poisonous seed pods. They're minions, lurkers, 3 wounds, skill 5. They're static models, but if a hero activates within 1 inch of them, this model makes an attack immediately before the hero's first action. And then they will obviously attack again within their own turn. Okay, let's get on with the first turn for the game. I think firstly we'll take a fairly safe manoeuvre from the Ghost. He is going to move 2 inches to there, and an extra inch into the rough ground. And then we'll move a second action 2 inches there. And then we'll make a third action 2 inches up to there. He's then going to make a threat check for the marker that's just off the table down here. And use his sneaky ability to ensure that he doesn't trigger it. Skill check, I think I meant to say. So he rolls difficulty of 6 and scores 2 6s. Succeeds with that check. Next we'll use Ginger. She can just move up 4 inches to about there, and she'll use Eyes Peeled as her second action. The Panther's going to come 6 inches just to here. Ooh. And wait there. I think Butch will do his usual run and gun. He'll move 4 inches to here. He'll use Eyes Peeled as his second action and then move straight up 4 more inches over there. And that should be sufficient, that is, to trigger this central threat marker. So we'll flip this. It's a number 2. Number 2 tonight is our big eaty plants. So let's pop it there for a second while I grab the rules. So Master, Lurker, 10 wounds, skill 7, and they will move up. So the game starts at threat level 1. We have uncovered a Master, so that increases the threat level to 2. And this guy will pop over to base contact with Butch. Ginger will take a shot first of all using her Eyes Peeled. Shooting with the disadvantage. She gets difficulty 9 for disadvantage and scores no hits. Butch will then take a shot. He gets difficulty 10 and fails again. Oh dear, oh dear. Clearly this green eruption of tentacles has taken them by surprise. So that ends our hero's turn. we'll move straight on to the villains and a threat check, beginning with threat level of 2. So the threat check difficulty is a 7, and they score a 6 and a 5 for 0 successes, and that simply increases the threat level to 3. We only have one active villain on the table at the moment, and that's our Triffid. He's a master and a lurker. So for the lurker behaviour, first of all, we'll run through the action list. So the threat level isn't higher than 7. There's still threat markers to be revealed, so it doesn't use aggressive behaviour. It then tries to raise the alarm, which it can't. It then does a villainous attack. So it's skill 7, attacking Butch, who is skill 4. 7 dice, 1 attack dice, off we go. Gets a difficulty of 2, increased to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage on Butch, less 1 for his tough guy. Gives us 5 damage to Butch on the first turn. So it then does a skulk move, which puts it 6 inches back towards the nearest threat marker. It's going to be one of these two. So 1 to 5, it's over there. 7, 8, so this one over here. So it moves 6 inches back in contact with that one over there. It did something in step 2, so it doesn't do the up to no good and doesn't do the villain's attack. And that's it. So that ends our villain's turn. So we're back to our heroes. Because he was attacked by the Triffid, Butch is affected by the blinding sting. So he successfully wounds a hero. That model is knocked down and may not declare a shooting attack for the rest of the game, as he's blinded by some sort of sticky substance in his eyes. That's not a good sign for poor old Butch. So I think order of this turn is going to go. So we'll start with the ghost over here, and he's going to start popping some shots into the Triffid with his 2 pistols. He is skill 4 because he's a hero, plus 1 for shooting, plus 1 for his crack shot ability. He gets a difficulty of 1. Obviously that's increased to 5 for a shooting attack. Scores 1, 2, 3 damage. First of all on the Triffid. They have 10 wounds. This might be a bit of a big ask, this one. He'll shoot again. This time getting difficulty 9. I'll re-roll that as a cocked dice. And he only scores a single critical. That does do 2 more damage to it. And finally, for his third action, he will keep the pressure on and shoot again. This time getting difficulty 6, getting an 8, a 6 and another that's 9. So 3 more damage, takes it up to 8 damage in total. Okay. I think Butch will now stand up. Actually stand him up. That's first action. Second action, he's going to order Ginger into base contact with him. And third action, he's going to order the Panther to move to here. Okay. Then we're going to trigger Ginger. She's going to do a heal action on Butch. She gets difficulty of 1, scores 2 successes and heals 4 wounds. And finally for this turn, the Panther's going to make a move action into contact with the plant creature, and he's going to attack. So he is a teammate, so skill 2. He gets plus 3 dice because of his brute ability, and is facing a minimum difficulty of 7. Oh, that's not a good roll. Oh dear. Unfortunately, it rolls a 9 for its difficulty and scores no successes whatsoever. So that ends our hero's turn. We'll move swiftly on to the villains and begin with a threat check. It's currently threat level 3. The difficulty of this threat check is 6, and we score 2 successes, which is the Noose Titans. So we have a bunch of markers to move in. That one will move in there, over there. And then we'll check distances. So this one down here is going to trigger. That's number 6. It's 1,000 cuts. So the ghost is 5 and a bit inches away. It's going to automatically get triggered by the panther. So I will do the attack on him. It's a skill 3 attack. Gets difficulty 9 and scores 1/9, so it takes a single point of damage. There we go. And that remains in play. That's a bit awkward. Any others? Any others? No, that was outside 6, so we're all good there. Okay, so that's the threat check. Oh no. We'll do threatening overtures, which increases the threat level to 4. Next, we'll activate the plant creature. It's still going to be in its lurker mode. So the first thing it does is raise the alarm. So this model is within 1 inch of an unrevealed threat marker. Select the hero closest to the heroic board edge and spawn a random minion within 1 inch of the hero. So that is going to be Ginger by the look of it. Yep, that pops out right back over here. And I've got no one with eyes peeled currently. It then makes a villainous attack with skill 7 against the panther. Rolls difficulty of 5 and the panther's melee skill is 5. However, it doesn't score very highly on the attacks. It only gets 2. 2 go through, takes it up to 3 damage. It can't back off to near another unrevealed threat. No, I've just realised that shouldn't be an unrevealed threat marker. That should have revealed. So we'll do that quickly now. 5. That is another plant. So this pops out as a extra plant here. It will pop out right next to the panther. Sorry, I missed that earlier. So we've done the main bad guy. We'll work backwards. We'll do the plant over this side. So these things are skill 5. It will bite Ginger. It gets difficulty 1. And scores 6 successes against Ginger. Ooh. Ouch. The other one will then bite the panther. Oh, actually, difficulty 2. Oh. I messed that one up. I think I'll knock one off that because obviously she's skill 2. Against the panther. This one gets difficulty 7. Only scores a single success. Against that, taking it up to 4 damage. Well, that could have gone worse, could have gone better. Let's see where we go from here. Okay, so I think we're going to start with Butch here. He is going to make a move action followed by another move action to here. Staying outside of 6 of that. Then he's going to make a single attack action against the poisonous plants. Or not. Oh dear, Butch. Fails that. I'm going to take my once a game reroll for that. This time he gets a difficulty of 8 and scores 4 successes. There we go. That might save me the game. Kills the master and reduces the threat level by 2 down to 2. Next, the panther will go. It's going to attack the seed pod it's in combat with. It gets difficulty of 4 and scores 2 10s and an 8 for 5 successes. They only have 3 wounds, so that is also removed. Now, I'm going to roll a d5. When a villain is killed, or I can do it twice. I can investigate them essentially. So for the killing of the poisonous plant creatures, d5 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's underneath. So I need to get Roll a d5 and add the number of search tokens on this objective. Right, okay, so that's a failure, because that would be hard. Essentially I need to get a 6 or more. So we're going to add a marker to that, and then we will also do one for the other creature that was killed. That's another failure, so we'll add another marker to the forbidden knowledge. Ginger over here is going to try and escape from combat. She's going to focus first to give her the advantage. Fat lot of good the focusing did. However, she scores a pair of 8s and gets a single success, which is enough to get her 4 inches away from that plant creature. And finally, the ghost is going to make a dash. He's going to move. Oh, he can only make it into there. He's going to take 1,000 cuts if he does that. He's going to come back this way, move outside of the 6-inch zone for 1,000 cuts. He activates within it, however, and takes a skill 3 attack. Oh my gosh, does 4 damage to him. Getting beat up really badly tonight. Dice are against me. However, he's now got a clear shot to this other creature back here, so I'll make sure I clear my route home a little bit. First shot, gets difficulty of 4, increased to 5 because he's shooting, and gets 2 successes. Rolls again. For his third action, gets difficulty of 5 and gets absolutely loads of successes and kills that plant. I'm going to roll my d5 again for forbidden knowledge while I investigate. He gets a 3. That's halved down to a 2. 4, 3, 4. I'm still below. Add another search marker to the forbidden knowledge. Okay, that's the end of our hero's turn. So we'll take a threat check at the beginning of the villain's turn. It is currently threat level 2. We get difficulty of 5 and no successes. That is simply threatening overtures and increases the threat level to 3. There are no villains on the table to activate, in which case we are going to activate our heroes. I'm going to take this time to heal up a little bit. Butch has only got 1 damage. So the panther's going to move back towards Ginger. That's all he's going to do this turn. Ginger is going to heal the panther, or attempt to heal the panther. I get 3 successes there, so that's 6 damage I can heal. So we take that off. The ghost is going to make, that's 2 inches, 3, 4, 7 inches, gets me around to there. Dash around to here, out of the terrain, and then use eyes peeled just in case anything pops out. And Butch hasn't got any, he's got no shooting, so what he's going to do, I've got to interact with the prisoner. I'll have to pop these 2 markers. If I come this way and move right up to the prisoner here, that'll pop this marker over here. In fact, if I'm sensible, I only need to be an inch away. And sit like that and get you a better view. Okay, so Butch triggers his marker over here. It is an 8. That is disaster strikes. Charging in to save the prisoner, he slips on something thorny and rather awkward. He takes a skill 7 attack. He gets difficulty 6. There is 1, 2 successes, a pair of 9s in there, reduced by 1, so he takes a single damage and is knocked down. So that's 1 action to move over there. Second action, he's going to stand up. Third action, he is going to interact with the prisoner and try his first release. 4 dice skill check. He gets difficulty 7 and scores a pair of 8s. So we have 1 rescue the prisoner. So I'm just going to pop what's next to it to remind me. Okay, and that's it for our heroes. We return to the villainous phase. And the threat check once again. We're at threat level 3. We get a difficulty of 4. That is 3 successes. That pushes us into crawling chaos territory. So the ghost takes his horror check, scores a difficulty of 8 and runs away. Right back over here. Ginger's next. She gets a difficulty of 3 and aces that one. Panther gets difficulty 4 and aces that one. And Butch, of course, is immune to it. We then do Noose Titans. That one doesn't move. This one moves in an inch. Moves it an inch, an inch. That's all moved in. This one here now triggers. That is a number 4. So that is another poisonous plant. And that's going to pop right next to Ginger. Now, although he ran away, he did use Eyes Peeled last turn. So he's going to take a shot. Is the ghost. He has a skill of 4 +1 at the disadvantage. So he gets a difficulty of 4 and scores 1 success. Not good enough. Not good enough, Mr. Ghost. Clearly his guns are running low on ammo tonight. So that's Crawling Chaos. We'll do Threatening Overtures and increase the threat level to 4. And then we'll activate Villains, which we only have the plant in the middle here. So it's going to take a bite out of Ginger. Skill 5, actually not 3. So it scores a difficulty of 10, and luckily for Ginger, fails to get even a nibble of her green dress. That was more than a bit lucky. It doesn't move anywhere because it can't, it's immobile, so there's nothing else it can do for this turn. And I've just realised I forgot to do the villain's reactions, didn't I, before? It wouldn't have made a huge difference. He wouldn't have got away, I don't think. Okay, so we have finished our villainous phase. We're into a new turn and the heroes. We're going to start with the Panther. The Panther's going to make a move action into contact with, in fact I'll do it on this side, into contact with the pot plant. And it is going to take a whoppingly great big bite out of it. And it's 5 attacks. It scores a difficulty of 2, increased to 5 for its skill level, but it still gets a 10 and a 9 and a 6, and munches through it. There we go. Gone. I roll a d5 this time. I'm adding 4 to it. I get a 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, adding 3 to it, sorry. And that succeeds. So the esoteric artifact places a token on the base contact of the killed model as close as possible to the nearest hero. Okay, so that marker goes there. Right, it doesn't actually say anything about picking up markers on the cheat sheet I've got in front of me here. So we're going to just call it an action. So Ginger's going to grab the artifact and then do a runner 4 inches this way. The ghost is going to just go straight at the middle for 8 to there and then use Eyes Peeled. Butch is going to interact with the prisoner again. Gets difficulty 1 and a bunch of successes, so we remove that and the prisoner is now a thankful prisoner. So she is a teammate with 6 wounds and 1 skill. That's Butch's first action. Second action, he's going to move to the edge of the board, and third action, he will use Eyes Peeled. So that ends our hero's turn. We are back to our villainous phase, and it is a threat level of 4 currently. We get a difficulty of 3, increased to 4 because of the number of heroes on the table, and we get Crawling Chaos with 3 successes. So it is going to be horror check for the Panther. Scores a difficulty of 1 and aces it. The Ghost, I'll do Ginger first. Ginger first, she passes it. Then the Ghost, 4 dice. Gets difficulty 3, he passes with ease. We do Threatening Overtures. No, we don't. We do Noose Titans first. 1 in, somewhere in here. I don't want a place where we can't see that. And there. And then we do Threatening Overtures, increasing the threat level to 5. Yeah, let's finish this up. So Butch is going to leave the board. Our Thankful Prisoner will leave the board. Ginger is going to make a move action with the artifact and leave the board. The Mist can make a triple move action and get off the board. And the Panther can move 12 because he's nippy, and he's also off the board. And that is it. That went surprisingly well, actually. So our heroes have escaped yet again with all objectives completed. So I think it's time to count up our successes for the night. So we've lost no members of the party. That gives us 1 victory point. Our heroes are alive. Heroes? They're called heroes. Our leaders are alive. That's 2 victory points. We have escaped from the board. We get 1 point per model that's escaped, up to a maximum of 3. So that gives us 3 more, taking up to 5. We have successfully uncovered the forbidden knowledge, or in this case, weird reason why plants are alive and trying to eat people down here. That gets us another 3, taking us up to 8 points. And finally, we have rescued the prisoner, and she is still alive. That gets us 3 more points for a total of 11 points. With 11 points, we score the top rank and a truly heroic performance. Another cracking game tonight. As always, thank you very much for joining us here at the Cock Dice. Hope you enjoyed the game tonight. Please subscribe to the channel, click the little button below and that'll do that for you. And here's another couple of videos you might enjoy to while away your weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Good night.